We're probably already going live.
We are. It says meeting is now streaming live on Facebook.
It's amazing. All right, let's get ourselves ready, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure our volumes are off on our phones, right? There I am, streaming live. We're just gonna wait for some folks to wake up and click on us, and
it's fine because I can already see us.
yeah, and it's always a 5-second delay, so it's really weird when doing these events, folks. We can't like look at the video while we're doing it live because it's like 5 seconds delayed, and you say, oh my god, why did I turn my head that way? Oh wow. And then you're like 7 seconds later just doing something else. Okay, excellent. I think we are ready, and I'm got my little screens all set up here. Excellent. Alrighty, greetings and welcome to Psychic Mediums Live. I'm your host, Kevin Paul, Psychic Medium from Washington, D.C. And today my special guest is Elias Patras, who is a psychic and medium who I met at a mediumship training program in Virginia Beach in 2019. My God, the time is flying. Today we will talk about his journey in becoming a psychic and medium, and then talk about his specialty as a channeler of angels, or the spirit of wisdom, of the wisdom of spirits. So if you have any questions for us, please place your questions in the comments section and I will get to them during our interview. So welcome, Elias, and thank you for being on my show today.
Thank you, Kevin. It's so nice to be here. Thank you. Thank you.
God, remember back in Virginia Beach, it seems like it's only been a year, but since the pandemic happened, it's like,
I know I can't believe it's
me either.
The time has gone so quickly, so quickly.
So where in the world are you? Part of the world are you?
I am 2 hours away from Chicago, Illinois. I'm in a town called Sterling, Illinois. I am originally from Chicago, and I got married, moved out here, now divorced. So I'm in cornfield land, but I kind of like it. It's quieter than Chicago. It's not as the hustle bustle, and I think a lot of messages come through really easier when there's a stillness.
It's a nice environment for doing this kind of work, isn't it? Versus the big city, because I'm in Washington, I'm easily distracted by an insurrection, a riot, protests running. I mean, it's just constant going on here in DC. So, and it's snowy outside. Well, it's starting to snow. Almost starting to melt, thank God, because we have a little bit once in a while we freak out because we can't handle it. So thank you again for being on the show. I want to get to know you a little deeper than I do, because we've done some work together in class, we've done shows together, but let's get a little bit more into detail here.
Okay.
So let's talk about your journey to becoming a psychic and medium. Did you become a psychic first and then a medium? What was that progress for you? Because it's all a little different for all of us.
I think it kind of came together in a weird way. So a little bit about my background. I was adopted. I was born in Athens, Greece. My parents, which are right over here, my parents were 46 and 56 when they adopted me. And they were both Greek, so they wanted a Greek child. So where else but Athens, Greece to go? And my mom had a dream that she would find a baby. They didn't want a baby, but would find a baby in a blue crib with a white dove painted on it. And there's more to the dream, but I'll condense it. And they were going to different orphanages, and because they were older, my mom was born 1919 and my dad was born 1909. So I had older parents. Yeah, I'm 56.
Lots of wisdom.
Lots of wisdom. And my mom saw some signs that she had in the dream, and she's like, stop the car. And the lady said, no, this orphanage is for younger children. And here's an interesting thing, Kevin. I was on the list to be going to Cyprus. Barbara Walters did a special of the unwanted children in 1966 that were being sent to the island of Cyprus. I was on that list. And my mom and dad both saw me in a blue crib with a white dove painted on it. And here I am.
That's what I want.
That's the
That
one.
one's for me. That one's for
Right.
me.
So
Wow.
I think my mom was given a sign, and
Clearly.
ever since I was little, whenever, because I had older parents,
Hmm.
I went to my first funeral when I was 4, and that was like odd, right? And I would always have the same dream. I'd be in church, in Greek church,
Hmm.
and everybody was there except for one relative, and the phone would ring, and that person was the one that passed away. Now that was all the way till I was about 11 or 12. And then after that, we go into junior high and high school, all that stuff stopped. It all stopped. So I would say that my psychic stuff happened first. I was an empath. I worked at Leo Burnett Advertising. I took the L and the train a lot during work, obviously going to work. And then we lost a client, so they had to let a few of us go. And then I got a job as a server for Ed DeBevick's restaurant in Chicago, which is a crazy 50s, 60s restaurant where the servers can actually be a little sassy to you. So, like, are you finished with that burger? Yeah, can I have some dessert? No, you didn't. You weren't done
You,
with it.
you didn't finish the burger.
Right, exactly. So that was a lot of fun. But I was noticing at that time, I was in my early 30s. I would start feeling people's pain.
Hmm.
Had a headache or a knee problem or a backache or a dog barking. I would feel that pain. And I'd sit next to somebody on the train, she'd rub her knee. I'm like, yeah, mine hurts right there too. She'd get off the train, pain gone.
You empaths.
I know. So that got me to understand about intuition. I studied with a woman and her husband. It was called Rainbow Journeys. And I did a 2-year apprenticeship program in shamanic studies, learning about Peruvian based shamanic studies. So my Greek Orthodox faith, learning about Peruvian stuff was a little bit funky. And then the intuition hit more and the psychic stuff hit more. And the more I practiced and the more classes I took, or I can't tell you, Kevin, how many books I would read.
I know. I know.
I would go to the metaphysical, bookstore, and when no one's looking, I would take my hand and I would make sure no one's looking, and I would scan the book. And if my hand got hot, I would just grab that. One time, I walked out with $400 worth of books.
Oh wow, they loved you, didn't they?
Sure did.
Keep waving those hands.
I never read any single one of them. And what happened as I became a massage therapist and massage instructor, I would just give these out to clients. I'm like, here's a book that I think is for you. Nice. So I learned Reiki. I learned Akashic Records. I learned about the intuition. I was doing the shamanic apprenticeship program. Then I got to assist in the shamanic apprenticeship program. And then I started blending the body work with the energy work. And that's when the mediumship started happening.
Right.
When I started saying, I'm sensing that you have some issues here and around your neck. Is there an issue with speaking up? Oh, yes. It started when I was little. And I said, okay. And then I'd get an image of a person. And the image would be like, I'm going to ask you something. This is my sense. I do energy work, and I'm sensing somebody that is about this tall, blah, 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 and blah, blah. And she was the one that always didn't let you speak up. Yes, that was my mom. She died 5 years ago.
Right.
I didn't know what I was doing.
I know. Isn't it funny how that you just kind of like, how it evolves with folks. Yeah. And then you're like, okay, what is that all about? And you try to learn more about that, right?
Yeah. And then it's getting deeper into that. And then I started facilitating my own retreats. Pre-COVID, it would have been my 38th weekend retreat that I would have facilitated, all based on self-love, self-discovery, but using a lot of these tools.
Right.
And I was walking, this is maybe about 10, 15 years ago. I was walking on the retreat land. I always like to say prayers and say gratitude before the retreat starts.
Right.
And I heard my name and I said, yes. And nobody was there. And then this deer comes out of the woods looks at me straight in my eyes and does this. And I'm like, what the heck?
I
And
know.
then different animals. Like I felt like I was like Snow White in the forest, right? All these things are coming at me. I'm like, what's going on here? And in my head, what I heard was, when you vibrate at the energy of love, everything is equal.
Interesting.
And that's when I started, I'm like, what do you mean? And then my voice changed. And that freaked the crap out of me when I started talking, because I closed my eyes. I'm like, what is, and the voice changed. I'm like, okay, everybody upstairs, could you make it my voice? Because that's a little creepy.
It wasn't Snow White, was it?
It wasn't like, no, nothing like
Oh,
that.
good, good, good,
Yeah,
good.
no apples dropped or anything. But I was really, I said, if you're going to give me this next tool, because I feel as psychic and mediums, we're given these ladders.
Right.
And every time we do, we dive into the work, and this is for everybody watching too, because I believe everybody's intuitive. We just have to take the radio out, dust it off, turn up the volume, pull up the antenna, and then fine tune the channel.
Right.
The channel is us.
Mm-hmm.
We're just a conduit, and you know this.
Right.
But I think it's important to know that we all have these gifts. How we develop them and how we go further with them is our choice. And I said, you know what? I'm open. I remember being in church on Good Friday. This is 2 years now that I'm into this deeper work, right? I did the sign of the cross. I'm sitting by the pew. I felt someone touch my shoulder. I was like, oh, it's probably a little old lady, little man, no worries. Both of my parents were sick. My dad was in a nursing home for the first time, and my mom was home with the flu. So I'm praying, and 2 seconds later, I hear in my ear, one of your parents won't be here next year for Easter.
Oh, God.
Freaked me out. I left church crying. And my mom passed away the following year, 3 weeks before Easter.
Now,
So
who was whispering into your ear, you think?
an angel, somebody. I don't think it was a relative, because it didn't feel it. Well, it didn't feel unsettling, but it didn't feel familiar.
The spirit guide, perhaps.
Something, keepers of the church. I don't know, somebody in the church that was hanging around. I have no idea.
Church mouse.
Church mouse, or some Greek little old lady that's like, it's said. It's like, what? It's said. But I think if I didn't know the information that I knew, I would have probably had a nervous breakdown. That information was so wonderful to have. And I really feel that information. How can I be of service? How can I help somebody else through that? How can I teach intuition? How can I teach all this stuff? So that's how my journey started. And like you, Kevin, I have, I do have all the clairs, and some of them are stronger than the other, but I do smell, I do taste, I do hear, see, feel, and know. It's just that, depending on who the client is, they'll pop out differently.
Right. And you, like I do provide training for and development for people who are on their spiritual journey, learning to develop their abilities. And I always say the abilities are not the end. It's part of the journey. You take these abilities with you, because ultimately it's a ministry of healing, and to figure out, how do I use these tools either to heal myself, to help others heal, to help others develop. The spiritual journey is phenomenal. And we say it's like going down Main Street. The journey is kind of like here, but you're always making tangents into different stores. Maybe you'll pick up a few things from this store that you like. Oh, I like this one. And the other one, not so much about this one. I'm just going to keep walking on. And I always say that's part of everyone's spiritual journey. It gets you started in the right direction, and then you just take the tangents that are interesting to you and then put them into your tool bag. We say, being a psychic or medium is not the end. That's part of the tools that you need in the journey. And people are like, oh, yeah.
And that's why I feel, like for many of us that we met at that training, at that workshop, I think the teaching piece is so important. There's a lot of there's a lot of BS out there. And I think that, yes, people can come on your live or on my live. We can give the yes and no questions as well. I like to do the teaching piece where you're walking away with something. You're not just getting the answer that, I don't, I understand and I still continue to learn the
I know,
tools
me
that
too.
I have, right? And the tools that you have. But I think it's important to be able to tell someone, look, this is what's coming through. What does your intuition say? How can you vibrate with this? And, when people are like, am I going to get married? I like to say, well, a really good question is, what's blocking me from
Mm,
getting married? Because then I take my life coaching piece,
right.
mix it with the intuition, and now we got something really great to work with.
I love that. It really is life coaching, when we're doing, the work as well as the healing. It's it's amazing. It's so much fun. I mean, I love to teach like you do.
Yeah.
It gives us such satisfaction to help others. And while doing that, it really helps ourselves because then we're like, oh, I either, confirming or learning more while I'm kind of helping this person. I'm like, oh, I never thought about that. This person's interests, allow me to kind of like look into something. Yeah, it's amazing. We're always learning, folks. I mean, it doesn't end on our journey. It doesn't end. It's
There's always a great golden nugget with every client,
okay.
that in the back of my mind, I'm like, well, I never would have thought of it. That's a good one. I got to keep that one in
I
here.
know, I know, I know. Do you
Like,
mind if I use that one?
right. Or we're talking about the client, and I'm seeing in my head that my guides are doing this. They're like, and this is for you too. I'm like, all right, I
Right.
got it. I got it. Thank you. Meanwhile, I'm like, great. Yeah. How do you feel like that? And they're going like this. Yeah, yeah, I get it. It's
It's
for
like,
you too.
listen up, young man.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So
That's it. Yeah, folks, it's just the journey is the journey. It never ends, and it shouldn't end because life is amazing and there's so much wisdom out there to gather from within and from other sources to help just make our lives, better, more fulfilled. It's more fun to learn rather than not to learn, in my opinion. And I teach what I call, elementary school for, people upon their spiritual journey, learning psychic and mediumship development. And of course, the advanced work is those teachers that we've gone to, around the US, in Europe. It's just never ending, folks, and that's a good thing.
we are always learning. I mean, when I tell people on a retreat, I am not only teaching, I am your student. I'm learning from you. And that to me, that's what makes the experience so rich. That we are constant, like you said, constantly learning, constantly gathering information,
Mhm.
constantly living up to different ideas and thoughts of like, hey, I don't know if I could do, let me try that. Let me try this. This one woman called me up, and she wanted more forensic type psychic
Evan?
stuff, evidence. Yeah. Not my forte, honestly. But in that moment, I don't know if you guys ever watched the show Medium with Alison Dubois, her story. I was sitting, like, I told her, she wanted to know, and she told me I could say this story. She wanted to know about her missing brother-in-law. They didn't know if he was
Mm-mm.
murdered or whatever. So I was like in the car, the brother-in-law was driving. I was in the back seat. I could tell them that I'm going 2 blocks ahead. I'm making a stop at the stop sign. I'm getting onto the highway. The odometer changes to 7. I don't know if it's 7 minutes or 7 miles. And then we're on the expressway. And the people on the other phone are like, oh my God. I'm like, and in my head, I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm seeing all this. And after that experience, they had several sessions and they said, we've had some other psychics that we went to. They are all telling us the same information. I was like, this is just not, it's not in my wheelhouse. And I talked to one of my teachers and she said, Elias, you're being bumped up a notch. This is your next piece. If
Mm.
you choose, again, everyone, it's if you choose. I mean,
Right.
the universe is like, here you go, guys. What do you want from the smorgasbord?
Here's the menu.
Right. Exactly.
I'll try this.
Yeah, let's try this. Yeah.
It is amazing. I've just learned some techniques on animal communication because I thought, I mean, I can't tell one dog from another, but the techniques that I learned, I'm like, oh, and we tried it and I thought, well, I'm just be happy if I get one item. And I got so much detail, which was accurate. I thought, wow, that surprised me, but it shouldn't really surprise us, the abilities to connect with, the living, the ones who have passed on, animals who have an emotional connection or an energetic connection with a human.
Because energy is energy.
Energy.
When we leave here, I mean, everything around us is energy. The table, the chair, our bodies, and when we leave, that's why we talk about how love is eternal. And
Mm-hmm.
that energy of a pet, of a loved one, that ethers, that energetic frequency is constantly there. We just have to be open to grab onto it. And I think that's what our job is. Our job and what we love doing is holding that energy, being that container to allow that energy to come in, to speak about it, to relish in the excitement, I'll say, of being part and it's an honor to be in that energy field.
And all the gifts that come with this development in learning, to trust your intuition, to learn how to manifest all these little, magical, I say, tools in your tool
Right.
belt. It just makes life a little more interesting and a lot better.
So
So
true.
let's talk about one of your specialties, which is
Yeah.
not just communicating, because we as mediums communicate with, those past loved ones, but you also have a unique ability to, I say, channel spirit, or how do you describe that? Instead of channeling spirit, you call it
So talking to angels,
talking to angels.
connecting to the angelic realm is what I do. There is something that I do that is, um, I get the angelic realm, but there's also the keepers of the angelic realm, and that if you've ever heard of Esther and Jerry Hicks, how she channels Abraham, there is, and it takes a lot for me to do it, so I'm not going to do it here, but there is a group of angelic realm holders, and I got the name Ezekiel, and it's a heavier energy for me to hold, but when I get the angelic realm, it's really easy. That's an easier one. So I could do that if you wish, and we can ask some angels some questions.
Why don't we do that? Because let me just check to see if folks have got any questions for us.
Sure.
Well, for Elias, let's see here. Where is, because I have to look at the phone, folks, to look at the questions. Technology's amazing, but let me see here. Oh, we have 42. Oh, I got to turn the volume off. Otherwise, we're all going to feel like we've already here. Let's see if we've got. Robin is on it. Some folks want to hear from their families. So we got some folks that you could possibly connect with when you were in the angelic realm. So,
Sure.
all right, but I don't see anything. So I can't see anything specific yet. But
Why don't we do something general first, Kevin, and then go from there? How does that
yeah,
sound?
let's do that.
Okay.
So how long does it take? Do you let me know when you're ready for me to ask some more questions? Or
Sure. I will. I'll let them say when they're
that's
ready.
right. That's right. That's right.
Okay. Here we go. We'll stretch here first.
It's always important. I'll do the same.
Oh, there we go. Oh, sorry. Need some water. More water.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And just give me a minute.
Certainly. Take your time. I'm just going to look at some questions, see who.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Welcome.
We are here today to say good afternoon and welcome, loved ones. Welcome to the realm that you are seeking. The answers, loved ones, are within your heart. They are there knowing. They are there knowing that you have these answers. We support you with these answers. Several of you have lost loved ones. Please know that they are always with you. We smile when we say this, that there is a connection that is so deep, loved ones. And that is love. Your hearts generate an energy that reaches the heavens. It is good to connect with this energy. Ask for the signs that you are needing. Ask for the support that you are needing. For when you do, miracles can happen. Know this, loved ones, that when a loved one of yours passes, they have a time of learning. They have a time of understanding when they change their frequency, when they change their energy. They are not in body form, they are energy. So they must learn to speak and to feel in a different way that you here on earth do not and cannot maybe understand. Know that when you are searching, ask first, loved ones, to come in dream time. Now, many of you may say, we don't remember our dreams. We say this to you. When you wake up, even if it is in the middle of the night, do take a piece of paper and pen and jot down feelings, emotions. Ask for how you want your loved one to come through. Do you want or seek or need a item, a smell, something that is familiar to you? But do not put on harnesses of the eyes that only allow you to look forward. Take off the blinders. Look all around, loved ones. Love is everywhere. There's a beauty when you connect with the heart essence. That essence is what has been blown into you from the Creator, and it is part of who you are. Part of the divine is within. Know this. Trust this, loved ones.
Wonderful. May
We
I
are
ask,
ready for questions.
would you introduce yourself to everyone? Do you have a particular name or energy? Just if anything that you'd like to say to help to introduce yourself to us.
There are several of us here. You will notice and see and feel and know that some of us are more used to speech. We are all angels. We are all here.
Were you
We are
alone?
connecting with divine source to bring forth information and bring forth, most importantly, the remembrance of love. So there is no name to be given. If you like to give us a name, you may do so. but there are too many of us here to give a general. So we were just going to say your angels for today.
And my question is, why did you become a guide? Why did you guys want to become guides?
We like to break this down a little bit for all of you. Our spirit guide has been here on your earth before. Angels are of a different realm, a different frequency, if you will, and there are many in the angelic realm. The archangels are very high vibration. So we do have some guides here, but also angelic presence. We are saying we, the angelic realm, are here. So your question of guide, spiritual guide, we can say, yes, angels are guiding of spirit, but to be stuck on the terminology of spiritual guide, we would say someone of a past life, perhaps, shall be a spiritual guide. We also see loved ones can be a guide as well. But as angelic realm, we have a different vibration. So to answer your question, angels are here, we are here. We are here.
Now, those who have been, you have been within the angelic realm, have you ever had an incarnation in life on Earth? Or have you always stayed in the angelic realm?
These are fascinating questions, and we do love them, and we will explain this. There is a whisper that happens, maybe to the gentleman next to you when you are riding on a bike or in an automobile or on a train, and that individual says something to you that is quite remarkable. It is us whispering in their ear. Now, there are a few of us here that may have been on the earth realm for a very short time to experience earth-like feelings. So we can understand, and then we bring that energy back and discuss within ourselves. What is it like? What does it feel like? What is the presence like? What is the essence of this vibration of sadness, despair, fear, jealousy? This is not available for the angelic realm. But if you here have experienced and share these feelings, there's a connection that happens within all of us. And for you all need to know that we all are connected.
I like that. What do you recommend that we focus on while we are in this vibration here on Earth?
Dear ones, kindness, compassion. Those are two, obviously love, but we say to you, gentleness that you give from your heart to another may change their life. The kindness that you show when you stand up for someone, the ability to share, the ability to guide, the ability to teach. We say to you, kindness is what your world is needing now. So much healing needs to be done. There is healing happening, please fear not, but more kindness. We see the judgment that is still being done. We see the fear that happens. There are many that leave this place and be with us because they cannot take the judgment any longer. And that, dear ones, is very, very sad. We take them in our arms. We surround them with the love and the joy and the knowing and letting go of the hurt. For those that are judged and decide to no longer be on the earth by their own hand, we hold them dear to us and remind them of the love that they do have. As we mentioned, we all are connected.
Good advice. I've got a few questions from folks who are watching and listening. I've got someone named Perry Stokes Thompson who would love a message. Perry Stokes Thompson.
Dear one, we salute you, we applaud you, we send you much joy, for we see the struggle that you have had in the past. We see the decisions that you've had to make. We say to you, never give up on you, for others are watching. You, dear one, are a gift. In fact, you all are, but you, dear one, are a gift. And with this gift, we see you changing your surroundings. We see you in your own way, shifting and molding others with the kindness of your words. Be true to you, dear one, and fear not. All will come in due time.
Thank you. Karen Ann is asking, is there a message for me? I could really use one right now. Having difficulty keeping my vibration up right now. Karen Ann. Any message for Karen Ann?
Dear one, do what you did when you were a child. Find that vibration that gave you excitement, that gave you pleasure, that gave you joy, that lifted your spirit. If you have an animal, feel that unconditional love. We see bathing is done in a way that would be conducive to letting go of some of that heavier vibration. soak in a tub, put in favorite fragrances, and place sea salt within this place. And we are hearing music. And this music is not coming from a radio or a computer. It is coming from your own voice. Hum to yourself. Bathe yourself in love. Feel the energy. And yes, your fragrance of jasmine, it compels that energy, that angelic energy to be around you. It's a beautiful smell. Heal self, dear one. Place your hand on your heart. Do this now and breathe. Repeat after us. I am safe. I am loved. I am loved. Feel that energy. Soak that in and feel your true essence.
Thank you. One more message for Cindy Pietro Pinto Police. Please, I would love a message. Thank you. This is for Cindy. Cindy Police.
One, we ask that you speak to us in writing. You are very connected. Know this. You are so connected. When you write, your energy shifts. Allow the pen to guide you. Ask a question and write down the first thing that comes to mind. First, ask us to be with you. Ask us to be with you. And do whatever writing moves you. See what answers come to you. For you are blocking your energy of knowing. Do not question it. You may be right, you may be wrong. We say it is okay. The action will become consistent. The action will become what you do without even knowing. Will become habitual to just write and write. And then at week's end, take a look at your writing. See what it is. We will guide you. We will give you more hope, for you are slightly heavy on your energy of self. We see you glorious. We see you shining and shimmering. We see butterflies around you transforming. Spread your wings. Do not be afraid to fly, for you are a gentle creature with a heart of gold. Blessings to you, dear one.
Thank you. I want to thank the angelic realm, the angels that have come to speak through Elias. Way back
Yeah,
Elias back.
sure.
Welcome back. Well done. Well done, you, as they would say at, Arthur
Well
Findlay.
done, you.
Well done, you. So how do you feel after you do this kind of work? Some people like, I feel so drained. Do you feel drained or do you feel energized?
I feel energized. Like the
The
top of
way
my head is really buzzing.
that's when I do my work, it's like I get energized. I don't understand these people are like, oh, I gotta sleep for all day. I'm like, I mean, what have you been doing? It should energize us, right? It's this vibration is
Yeah.
amazing.
And usually that's different, Kevin, for someone to ask questions. So it's almost like I take a step back and then go right back in. It's kind of I'm just so used to
Just lecturing, right?
lecturing, right?
Right,
And
right, right.
so
I knew it would be different, but
I don't know if I was doing this, but it felt like I was.
and I didn't notice that, but I did notice that you got closer and closer to the camera.
Oh, great. Hello, everybody. Right.
I'm like, it's perfectly fine. No, nothing was distracting at all.
Did any of the messages make sense for people?
Yes, you can read in the comments. I see that
Okay.
folks are saying, yes, love this. This was so beautiful. Thank you. Those kind of things. So folks, if that resonated with you, please leave a comment. It's always nice for us to kind of read your comments. We're humans too. We like that positive reinforcement. And that's why we do the work. We want to make sure that we touch people in a way that that can change your life or to inspire you, and it makes us feel good. So please reach out and let us know if any of these messages resonated with you. It's always fun to go back and read, and then of course I'll share this all over, put it on my YouTube page, and tag you all over the place. And let's see what else we got here. What have you got coming up? Tell us something you've got coming up. If you don't know Elias, he has lots of things coming up, I'm sure.
So I want to tell everybody here, and maybe somebody can go ahead and put that on there. Any of my people that are watching to put it on there. So in an hour and 10 minutes, 9 minutes, I am doing a workshop. It's a free workshop. It's called Be Your Own Valentine for Life. And that is whether you're coupled or whether you are single. We're talking about how do we empower love? How do you empower love of self? And with that, we're going to talk about, we've all heard of vision boards, right? Well, I'm going to create a loving me board, different than cutting out pictures and putting stuff on there. It's be very different. You're going to need a pen and paper to take notes. And then we're also going to do a little bit of messages from above. So it's a combination of empowerment, love, and angelic, all mixed in 2 hours. So if you guys want to come, please join. And it is great. It is just, I'm excited to do that. Also, I am offering through the end of Valentine's Day, good Elias. I'm offering through the end of the month a special. So if you buy 2, your second one is half off if that's a session. Also, as an empowerment coach, some people are not sure about that empowerment coaching program. I do 3-month, 6-month, or 9-month. Well, if you'd like to see a little taste of it, get 2 sessions. You'll get 1 session half off. And normally I don't do individual sessions for empowerment coaching. So if you're interested in that, you can message me. And what else do I got coming on? I've got, we've got, I don't know if you know her, Allison Voth. Do you know who she is? On Wednesday, she'll be on my Facebook page. She is a legacy grief coach, and we're going to be talking about eternal love. So, and then all of March, my theme of March is all about renewal. So every Wednesdays, I have guest speakers, which you've been on, of course. And then on Saturdays, I am doing messages from above all of Saturdays. So there's, you know me, there's always something going on.
I have to let you know that you really inspired me. When we all pandemic went, down, you kind of like blossomed up. So you really have been an inspiration for me to help kind of break me out and, you know, expand my, you know, my offerings, you know, on Facebook. I realize content is important. So that's why I created this, you know, Psychic Mediums Live show where I interview all sorts of different kinds of people to learn about what they do, how they do what they do. And, you know, from paranormal investigators to next month is going to be, you know, a good witch.
Oh, good.
So she's a good witch. She's not a bad witch. And some more paranormal folks. I'm going to look for more interesting, you know, topics as well and fill in. I just do, you know, 2 or 3 a month. And then of course I love doing my real work, which are readings and then training people how to develop their own abilities to be who they really are, to be the best that they can be, and to how to integrate all that into their real life. So that's my primary work. And I love doing this kind of stuff, which has been inspired by you. You're amazing, folks. He's amazing. Definitely check him out. I'll put this on my YouTube channel as well. I put all my Facebook Live events there. And it was just a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Coming and visiting me here in Washington, D.C.
I would love to visit you in Washington, D.C. I've actually been there. It's been, it was maybe 2 days, but it was the little that I saw was fun. I want to go to that museum that,
which one? We have a million.
The Natural History Museum, where it's all the indigenous people.
Yeah, right.
That one, that looked really cool.
Yeah, I have not. It'd be interesting to open up and go into a museum like that. Like, okay, I did that when I went to the African American Museum, and I went, well, I'm gonna, and that's when, you know, it was like the slave ships, and I was just really empathically pulling in the emotions and energy and feeling of some of these artifacts from these ships, and like, oh shit, careful what you ask for, you know, like, all right, now I've got to like process this. So I like, okay, now time to close. I got it. I get a sense of it. So it's amazing when you develop, and you can actually open them and get a different perspective, like in museums, for example.
And that could be challenging. I mean, I did that once. What was the prison? The prison that the Green Mile was in. And that was a little bit too much.
Yeah, I did a POW camp in Vietnam, you know, where, yeah, that was tough. That was really tough. That was really tough. Yeah, it's an interesting.
I love this work though.
What's that?
I said I love this work though.
Yeah, I do too. It's fascinating. It's really fascinating, and it's energizing for me. I realize I have to be, you know, as a former entertainer, you know, like, wow, once a performer, and like I need something exciting, and this is exciting for me. And I love this work and love working with people like you. So it's
thank you.
Thank you so much for joining.
Everybody, thank you for being so open to this. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
You take care.
Thanks, Kevin.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.